January 2023, a private jet touches down in Riyadh at midnight. No cameras, no crowds, just 20 armed security guards and a convoy of armored vehicles were waiting on the tarmac. Cristiano Ronaldo steps off the plane into a country that just paid him more money than some nations will see in a decade. This isn't a story about a footballer moving for money. This is a story about what happens when a government decides one man is worth rebuilding reality for. And it starts with a palace that shouldn't exist. The $300 million Desert Palace. Ronaldo has signed a $500 million per year contract with Saudi Arabia's Al Nassr club. Not a salary, a statement. $1.3 million every day. $58,000 per hour. While the world sleeps, Ronaldo earns more than most families make in a year, but the money was only the surface. What Saudi Arabia built around him makes the contract look small. From the moment he landed, the kingdom didn't just welcome him, they reshaped the environment around him, entire blocks rebuilt, privacy engineered, not purchased, security on par with embassies, a lifestyle where his morning routine costs more than most weddings. And at the center of it all is the $300 million Desert Palace. Hidden deep in Riyadh's sands, it is a 10-acre compound invisible on maps or satellite images. The gates alone cost nearly $1 million and are guarded by ex-special forces. Inside, Greek stone, Moroccan palms, climate-controlled walkways, and a main villa that looks like a private resort. 17 bedrooms, gold-trimmed marble, $200,000 chandeliers, and a 3-story indoor waterfall crashing onto $1 million heated glass flooring. Digital walls replay his greatest moments while lighting mimics sunsets from Madrid, Turin, and Manchester. 2 levels underground sit the real secrets. A $40 million performance lab with cryotherapy chambers, salt saunas, cold plunges, and an altitude simulation room used by fighter pilots and Olympians. Even a private stadium-quality pitch imported from Spain. Security runs like a presidential command center. 20 rotating guards, armored Maybach convoys, facial recognition monitoring, and private classrooms where his children study under full protection. Every part of this compound is designed for control, privacy, and peak physical output. It isn't a mansion, it is a fortress engineered for one of the most disciplined athletes on Earth. The science of morning perfection. 6 a.m. The house wakes up before he does. Systems activate on their own. The cryotherapy chamber begins cooling. 5 chefs prepare his morning nutrition. The gym lights flicker on. Everything in the palace moves with one goal, keeping Cristiano Ronaldo performing at a level that shouldn't be possible at 39. He steps into the cryo chamber wearing only compression shorts. The door seals. The temperature drops to minus 200 degrees Fahrenheit and his breath turns to fog. 3 minutes later, he walks out with inflammation flushed, recovery accelerated, and his nervous system firing like it's been jolted awake. 2 trainers dry him off and attach biometric sensors. Heart rate variability, muscle fatigue, and lactate levels all displayed instantly across the mirrored wall of his $5 million smart gym. The gym itself looks unreal. Italian marble floors are polished like glass. Black chrome dumbbells engraved with CR7, a fiber optic ceiling that changes color based on his heart rate. Treadmills that auto-adjust speed and incline directly from his phone. And beside the racks sits a hyperbaric oxygen chamber worth more than most homes, ready to repair his body the moment the workout ends. By 7 a.m., breakfast is ready. But this isn't breakfast, it's biochemistry. 5 chefs handle different parts of the meal: protein, carbs, hydration, micronutrients, and final approval. The plate costs around $1,000, not because of quantity, but because of sourcing. Eggs from Portugal, wild salmon from Norway, berries flown in from France within 48 hours, Greek olive oil pressed in micro batches, Saudi dates selected for perfect glycemic balance. He eats barefoot on a heated stone while the house holds the air at exactly 64 degrees. The juice is pressed minutes before serving, calibrated to match whatever his morning scan recommended. Every gram of sugar and sodium is measured in milligrams. Then comes the spa wing, 20 minutes in an infrared sauna glowing red against limestone, followed by a plunge into a 38-degree ice bath, hot to cold, cold to hot, all pre-programmed by his physiotherapist. The setup alone costs over $300,000. By 8 a.m., his morning routine is complete. Between staff, ingredients, machinery, and energy use, he has already burned through close to $10,000 before most people finish their first coffee. The air, the light, the water, the floor temperature, every element is tuned with one purpose: to keep one of the most disciplined bodies on the planet performing at a level that defies age. For Ronaldo, mornings aren't about comfort, they're about control, and perfection is simply maintenance done with military precision. Transforming Saudi football. By 8:30 a.m., his Rolls-Royce Cullinan is waiting outside, flanked by 2 security vehicles. But he is not heading to an ordinary stadium. He is driving to a training facility that, in its current form, did not even exist 6 months before he arrived. When Ronaldo signed, Al Nassr did not just welcome him. They realized instantly that nothing they had was up to his standard. The pitches were outdated. The medical rooms were years behind Europe. The recovery tools were borderline obsolete. So the Saudi government wrote a check for $50 million and told them to rebuild everything. They replaced the grass with the same hybrid turf used at Camp Nou and the Bernabeu. They tore out the locker rooms and installed climate-controlled lockers. They brought in medical and recovery equipment that most hospitals do not own. His personal training room has machines flown in from Germany. His locker has biometric access. His recovery room includes a cryo chamber, a hyperbaric pod, and a massage table worth more than a luxury car. But the real story is not what he changed at Al Nassr. It is what he changed across the entire league. Before January 2023, the Saudi Pro League had small regional audiences. Stadiums are rarely filled more than a quarter of their seats. Tickets were cheap. Merchandise barely existed. International broadcasters were not interested. Then Ronaldo arrived and everything flipped. His first match drew 60 million viewers worldwide. Stadiums sold out weeks in advance. Ticket prices tripled. Jersey sales exploded. Within 2 months, broadcasters from over 150 countries bought rights to show Saudi League games. That had never happened before. Saudi Arabia saw the impact and doubled down. Karim Benzema joined Al Ittihad. N'Golo Kante followed. Neymar arrived at Al Hilal in a record-breaking deal. Sadio Mane, Roberto Firmino, Riyad Mahrez, and many more followed. Every signing traces back to Ronaldo. He was the proof of concept, the catalyst that made the league a destination. A league nobody watched is now being discussed as the future of global football. That shift is not hype, it is a transformation. The Saudi government treats him as more than an athlete. He appears in tourism campaigns for Vision 2030, the country's plan to diversify beyond oil. His face is on billboards across major cities. He attends national events, meets with royalty, and represents Saudi Arabia as a symbol of its new global identity. His contract is not just with Al Nassr, it is tied to the image, ambition, and future brand of an entire nation. Privacy in the desert. Behind all the spectacle, Ronaldo's greatest luxury in Saudi Arabia is privacy. In Europe, cameras followed him everywhere. Here, the culture protects him. He can take his family to dinner or walk through a mall without crowds or paparazzi. Security is tight, but the social norms matter even more. For the first time in years, his daily life feels calm. Georgina shops in Riyadh's luxury districts, where entire collections are brought to her inside private suites. When she needs something custom, designers fly in quietly from Paris or Milan. His children grew up in an environment built for safety. Private parks, temperature-controlled pools, chefs trained in elite culinary schools, and staff who all undergo background checks. It costs millions to maintain, but it gives him the control he never had in Madrid, Turin, or Manchester. His social life is private and selective. No nightclubs, no crowded events. Instead, he hosts small dinners with royalty, business leaders, and a handful of teammates. Michelin-trained chefs oversee the meals, and even the non-alcoholic beverages are curated like fine wine. Every moment is managed to protect his peace. Building an empire beyond football. When he is not training or with his family, he is growing his brand. The CR7 empire is expanding across the Middle East with new hotels, gyms, and lifestyle stores in Riyadh and Dubai. It generates tens of millions each year, designed to outlast his playing career. His philanthropy continues quietly. He funds youth academies across Saudi Arabia, supports hospitals, and donates to regional disaster relief. He never announces it. He simply sends the money and moves on. This is the part of his life most people do not see. Beyond the fame, beyond the goals, Ronaldo is building something larger than football. Midnight in Riyadh, and Cristiano Ronaldo looks out over a city he helped transform. Saudi Arabia didn't just sign him, they built an entire ecosystem around him and changed global football in the process. This isn't retirement, it's the next stage of his empire, built in a place with no ceiling left to hit. And as tomorrow's cryotherapy chamber cools, one thing is clear, Ronaldo is still leveling up. If you enjoyed this video, tap the next one on your screen and continue the journey.